Welcome back to Jim Bob's Garden. Today we're going to talk about something fun called poison ivy. Woohoo! Now, if you live anywhere in the eastern half of the United States, you've probably got, and you have something kind of like this where you've got basically a forest edge, you're going to have poison ivy. Poison ivy tends to grow at the edge of a wooded area, and it's real common. It's all over the place. I remember when I was a kid back in Kansas, I used to always have poison ivy. Now, poison ivy, I mean, it's not really poison. It's not going to kill you, but it will give you a bad rash if you get it rubbed on your skin. If you come down here and look, this is your classic poison ivy right here. You can kind of tell, you see how the leaves they come in leaves of 3. There's always 3 leaves. They tend to be smooth edged, and they tend to have a point at the end. All right? And what happens is there's oils. If you rub it, there's oils that come off of this that will get on your skin, and when it gets on your skin, what it can do is cause a bad rash. Now, like I said, I don't think it's ever probably killed anybody, and every camper has probably gotten poison ivy at one time or another. But if you take a look at this tree up here, you can see that this stuff goes everywhere. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of it. Now you'll notice what I'm wearing, I got a long sleeve shirt, pants and shoes, and I got gloves on. All right? You really don't want to get this stuff on you, even though, you know, like I said, I grew up in Kansas and I was in this stuff all the time as a kid. So I think I built some sort of immunity to it because it doesn't seem to bother me as much anymore. But nonetheless, you really want to watch what you're doing. So, with that being said, I'm going to go get me a cup of coffee, and then I'm going to show you how we go about pulling some of this out. All right, so you can see that what I'm doing is pulling all this out and trying to pull the roots out as much as possible. If you don't pull it out by the roots, it's going to come back. If you just pull the leaves off and the stems, I mean, it's going to come back either way. But the more roots you get out, the less the likelihood of it coming back. Now you notice I got a bucket there, and what I have is a plant. And my little blue bucket works great to cover up my plant so that I don't accidentally pull that out or step on it or otherwise destroy my plant. But the big thing about poison ivy, like I said, is trying to get the roots out. Now you can kill it several other ways. You can burn it. Of course, that would burn the rest of the forest. Though that's not recommended because the oils will actually get transmitted in the smoke, and if you breathe the smoke, you know, imagine getting poison ivy in your lungs. I think that would really suck. The other way is that you can use something like Roundup on it, or any other weed killer will work. Obviously, one of the things I'm trying to do in my garden is to not use chemicals wherever possible. I mean, you know, if I have to at some point, I can't imagine why, but, you know, I'm not going to say that I won't, but I'm going to try real hard not to. So that is one good way, and a lot of people will do that to kill it off, because if you use the weed killer like Roundup or something like that, the advantage to it is that it will actually kill it down to the root and hopefully get down into the roots and kill that as well. The disadvantage, obviously, is that you're spraying, you know, a poison all over your yard or, you know, forest or whatever it is you got poison ivy in. Now, a lot of what I've got up underneath there is the wild raspberries, and we collect those and hopefully make jam or just eat them straight up. And in fact, we're going to try and get them to grow a little more. So, you know, killing them off with Roundup is probably not in the plan at the moment. So, but like I said, the big thing, you know, if you're going to try and do it by hand like this is to, you know, 1, wear protective gear, and 2, try and pull as much of the root as you can get at. And, you know, basically you're going to have to, like, I know I'm going to have to come back and deal with this again at some point. Okay, so just to finish up this video, I want to show you a couple of things. One, if you look right here, you can see this is poison ivy, and it gets these little growths like that. And a lot of people don't see that, but that is also poison ivy. Okay, it's real common. I'm not sure exactly what they are. And another thing I want to show you is kind of come over here. Is up under here, you can see it's got berries. Again, this is still poison ivy, but it will get berries on it, and it will, those will actually develop into a very small flower. All right, so that's something you might see later on in the summer. But now, not everything that's got leaves of 3 is bad. So if you look down here, for example, if you look right here, this is poison ivy, but this is actually wild raspberries, as you can see over here. And even though it's got the leaves of 3, that's not a bad plant. Now, one of the ways you can tell is if you look at the vine, it's got a lot of thorns, little stickers all along the vine. And that's one way you can tell whether or not you have a raspberry or whether or not you have poison ivy. Okay, poison ivy, on the other hand, has a smooth stem, and it does not have the thorns on it. So that's what I've got for today. Once again, poison ivy is a pain. There are ways to kill it off, but basically the best for me at least is going to be just pulling it out. Thanks for stopping by Jim Bob's Garden, and subscribe, like, share with your friends. And if you got poison ivy, get rid of it. It can be a pain. Thanks for stopping by.